Hello lovely people, Nicole here. I've had a few warm days here in Zone 7 in the Mid-Atlantic region. Lots of flowers are starting to wake up, and it got me thinking about something I've wanted to talk to you guys about that's become really important to me, and I hope after you watch this video it becomes really important to you too. And that is native plants. What are native plants? Native plants are any plants that grow naturally, occur naturally in the region where you live. And so that's different depending on where you live. I'm going to tell you why native plants are just so amazing, but I will admit that I didn't think about them very much for most of my adult life when I lived in a city. I lived in New York, I lived in Philadelphia, and then about a year ago, I moved here to this historic 200-year-old house that came with about 1.25 acres of property. And it was wintertime, so nothing was blooming, everything was dormant, and I didn't know what was here. I didn't know what had been planted before me. So as things started to wake up, I went around with my little plant ID app trying to figure out what I had here. And it became very apparent to me that the owner before me really cared about the native plant landscape on this property. And I started to understand and research why that is really important. So I'm going to share that with you today. Native plants support entire ecosystems, starting with something we don't really think about, insects. Insects support entire bird populations. So check this out. One native oak supports 500 species of caterpillars, and one brood of chickadees needs 6,000 caterpillars to flourish and survive. So when you start to think about the smallest creatures and what they need, native plants, you start to understand the interconnectivity. So when you have native plants producing nuts and berries, you're feeding all of the wildlife that lives in your environment. But there's actually a bonus too, guys, for the homeowner. When we are choosing to grow native plants, they're often the hardiest plants that we could choose. They are adapted to your environment, which means that their roots go deeper, they can tap water easier than species that are non-native that you have to constantly water through the heat of summer. I'm going to show you some native plant beds that I have that I do not water. Not once, not ever, throughout the entire season when it's like 100 degrees for many, many days through the summer. They also don't need fertilizer. They will thrive just with the nutrition that they find in your soil. One of my bugbears is lawns themselves. So somewhere along the way, we all decided that pristine green grass is what we should have. I don't know why, I don't know who came up with this idea, but it kind of infuriates me because that is like one of the biggest monocultures that we can promote, is to have like this pristine one type of grass. It's too early in the season for you to see this. It looks very patchy right now, but my lawn actually has so many different species of flowering plants that crop up through the season. So I have clover, which I will admit is not a native plant. It has been here since about as old as my house, since colonial days, so it has been established here for about 200 years. But in the summertime, the clover is blooming, and the bees, if you just stand there and you kind of really look at my lawn, you'll find bees busy everywhere amongst the clover. You know, I'm not hardcore about native plants, but it's all about kind of thinking about the ecosystem as a whole. You want your native plants to support your native species. You want flowers to support your bees. It's thinking about it less from everything has to be perfect and more about how can I support the wildlife on my property. So in my backyard, I have 2 native beds growing in a swale, which is a contouring of the earth, a kind of valley that channels water away from the house. And in those native beds, I have things like this structural Joe Pye, I have native honeysuckles and oakleaf hydrangea. I have flowers that are all perennials that bloom in a succession, which is amazing. So as one flower starts to die away, another one is coming into bloom. They have such crazy names too. They're like obedient plant and hoary skullcap. One tip when you start to think about your native landscape, as you can see, I left up all of this dead wood. I have to cut those Joe Pye back, and I'll be doing that within the next week or two. But why I left it up through the winter is that your native plants, not only, excuse me, that was a bug, a nice native bug, your native plants support your wildlife through the winter. So a lot of your native plants will have seed heads that the birds will eat through the season. And what I wanted to show you here is that there is actually a bird's nest in my Joe Pye that I discovered at some point over the winter. So they even become a home for your birds. I've been watching that nest. It's been vacated for a long time, so I feel comfortable taking this Joe Pye down now. Most importantly, beneficial insects overwinter in your dried and dead native plants, which was something that I learned from a longtime TFTV supporter, Susan. Shout out to you, Susan, thank you. But if you want to learn what plants are native to your area, just go to the Audubon Society website. They're not sponsoring this video, but they have a very cool search engine. You put in your zip code and they will give you an exhaustive list of plants and trees that are native to your area. And remember guys, it's all about balance, right? Take a look around your property, see what is native, what's not, where you might be able to add some native plants. I really think that the squirrels leave my vegetable garden alone every summer because they are well fed by the native nuts of the trees in this area, which include hickory and oak and beech and walnut. See, it's all interconnected. When you support the biodiversity of your environment, everybody's a whole lot happier. So this is just the first of this year's gardening series, guys. I'm so excited for a new year. I will meet you back out here very soon for the next one. Happy gardening. Talk to you soon.